Think you know Italian bread? Let's put that to the test. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're making ciabatta, that crispy airy bread that's perfect for sandwiches or dipping in olive oil. And guess what? There's another delicious Italian bread waiting for you in this video, but I'm keeping that as a secret. Let's get baking. Into a bowl, I have sieved 3 cups of all-purpose flour. Then I added 1 teaspoon of instant yeast, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and then I whisked together. To this flour mixture, I'll be adding 1 cup of lukewarm water. It should feel warm to the touch. You should be able to put your hand in that water and it shouldn't burn you, because anything that can burn you or you feel the heat can kill the yeast. We'll mix this together. We'll mix it properly. If this 1 cup of water is not enough for you, you add little water till it is pliable, till it is tacky. After you have mixed to the right consistency, to the tacky consistency, we are going to do a 4-fold of this dough. We would be flipping it one side to the other till we have covered it, and this flipping will be done 3 times after 30 minutes. 3 times after 30 minutes of rest. 3 times after 30 minutes of rest. So as you can see in the video, I am doing my first flipping, and I will do this 3 times after 30 minutes of rest. After which you would cover with a cling wrap like I used here, or you can put a damp cloth on it. After the 3 sets of 30 minutes, I allow this to rest for about 2 hours, and then now I'm going to shape the dough. We do not want to knock out the air in our ciabatta, so we just want to shape the dough. So you're just going to follow exactly what I'm doing in this video. You have to floor your surface and then gently place the dough on that floored surface. To the surface of your dough, you're also going to add some flour, and then you're going to use a palette knife, or like the one you see me using in the video, and just cut your dough and then place into the baking pan. So I'm just putting more flour because it's a tacky dough, but it's the right consistency. I have to put some flour on my palette knife. I have shaped my dough and I'm just putting them in the baking pan. So I have 2 long doughs, and then I'm just shaping this into a small bun. I'm just going to shape this into a small bun, and then I would allow this to proof for 30 minutes again. Allow this to proof for another 30 minutes. This is me preparing for 30 minutes proofing, so I need to cover the dough. You can cover with a cling wrap, or you can also use a damp napkin or a paper towel. Okay, you can see from the video that it has increased in size. It has proved has gone through its second proving, and then I'm about to bake the ciabatta. The ingredients and process of making this will be dropped in the description section. To a ciabatta bread, we would usually add flour like you have seen, and then also spray with just water. Spray the top with water. The reason for this is to get that crispy crust. It wasn't shown in this video, but into this oven I added boiling water, hot water into the video, and then after 20-25 minutes, this was how our ciabatta came out. You can use this for sandwich or just dip in olive oil and eat as it is. Now, as promised, I will be showing you how to make our second Italian bread, known as Focaccia. For this bread, I've added 1/3 cup of warm water. Just like the first video, we have to make sure that the water is not too hot, or else it will kill the yeast. And if the water is not also warm enough, it would activate the yeast, but it's going to be very, very slow. So to it, I will be adding 2 1/4 teaspoon of yeast, and then mix them together. I'll just allow it sit and then activate the yeast. You can see here the yeast has been activated. In another bowl, I have sifted 500 grams of all-purpose flour, and then to it I have added 2 teaspoons of salt, and then I'm going to mix this together before adding it into our yeast mixture, our liquid yeast mixture. So yeah, once this is added, I will attach my hook attachment on my mixer, and then mix this mixture. I've added 1/4 cup of olive oil to this mixture, so I'm just going to allow this mix and develop the gluten that is required for our focaccia bread. After about 8 minutes to 10 minutes kneading, I'm just going to bring out my dough. As you can see, the dough is sticky, stretchy, tacky. That is how this focaccia is supposed to be. So I'm using my bench scraper to just, scrape down this extra dough. Just get it out of the bowl, get every quantity out. It's very important. So I will scrape that and then put it into a greased bowl. You grease your bowl with olive oil or vegetable oil, whichever oil that you have. You just slightly grease your bowl and then turn it into that bowl. In this bowl we're turning it into, that would be where we'll have our focaccia bread proof. We'll allow that to proof. Look at how smooth that dough is. So once you have done this, the next step is to cover it up with a cling wrap or a damp towel, paper towel, or a napkin, and allow to proof. The dough will be proven for 1 to 2 hours until it has doubled in size. You can see I've put the time on my own and it was ready at this point. You can see that it has doubled in size, and the dough can be directly turned into a baking tray or the baking tray that you're going to need. I was absent-minded and I realized that I put this directly on the table, but I've gotten my baking tray, and then I'm going to line my baking tray and then put the dough into my baking tray, and then stretch out this dough like to the 4 edges of my pan. After that, after stretching it to the 4 corners of my pan, I'm going to cover up with a cling wrap. You can use a cling wrap if you do not have one. You can use a napkin or a paper towel. Cover this up and allow to proof for the second time. After the second proofing, this is what our dough looks like. Jiggly, exactly, that's how it's supposed to look. Focaccia always uses toppings, and the classic one that would have been used is rosemary and sea salt, but I'm using what is available to me. I'm using some bell peppers, yellow bell pepper, um, olive, and tomatoes. So I'm just going to put that in a bowl and toss some olive oil in it, just to give it some shine, and some olive oil on top of our focaccia. I'm going to mix that vegetable. I'm going to mix my vegetable, and then I'm going to put it on top of the focaccia. So my vegetable, as you can see, I added a little bit of salt, just so that it adds some flavor, and then just follow as seen in the video. That's me putting my vegetables. After this topping, after I've used up most of the topping, I'm going to create dimples in the dough. You're going to see how I'm going to create dimples in the dough. It is the traditional way of creating a focaccia. You can see me demonstrating already. So yeah, I'm just going to do that. I'm going to just put some dimples all over your dough. Do not be afraid that you're going to deflate your dough. It's just it. And I added sea salt. I didn't add as much as a normal recipe will call it a lot. But I just added a little bit of sea salt to it. It does give it, a distinctive taste, and there's a bite to it when your teeth catches one. So into the oven, we'll put our focaccia and allow to bake. And there we have it. Can you see how lovely this bread is? This bread tastes better than it looks. I promise you, it tastes better than it looks. So also I just added more olive oil to give it more shine, and obviously the bread absorbed it. So there we have it on our two Italian bread, focaccia and ciabatta. Thank you for watching. Do not forget to like, subscribe, and share.